With football season approaching, I wanted to go ahead and drop some gems to all my up-and-coming photographers to make sure that y'all are as well equipped as possible for this up-and-coming season. And I'm gonna do all of that in 5 minutes. Shout out to Peter McKinnon, as he is the OG, at least to me, of this video concept. Start my timer. So the first thing that we're gonna go ahead and dive into is going to be your camera equipment. Thanks to things like AID noise and all these other editing softwares out here, you don't need the best of the best equipment, but you are going to need some bare minimums. There are gonna be certain things you have to kind of have for your equipment. So the first thing is gonna be for your camera. Your camera needs to be able to shoot at least 10 frames per second. That's gonna be your drive mode. Certain cameras, like I wanna say the A7 III, honestly, you can get away with something like that because that's like 7 and 9, I believe, but 10 is that ideal point. You're gonna wanna make sure your camera can shoot in continuous autofocus, as there is a lot of movement happening on a football field. There's things moving closer to you, further away, and if it doesn't have continuous, things can get a little messy with your photos. Now, when it comes to your lens, you're going to want a telephoto lens. Something that can go up to at least 200 millimeters is perfect, but you can get away with things that go to like 170, I believe. In addition to that, you're going to want at least an f4, at least, okay? Because if you're pairing it with a camera that is just barely hitting the 10 FPS, if you go beyond f4, things get a little messy. The next thing we're gonna go ahead and get into are the settings. Settings are quite simple when it comes to photo. There's only one thing that really should be changing that much based off of your environment. Well, maybe two. You wanna make sure your camera is in its highest driver mode, so the shooting in the highest frame rate possible. You're gonna wanna make sure continuous autofocus is on. In terms of your focus point, I would recommend a small focus point so that you can be intentional about certain things that you are shooting. Football, there's a lot of players on the field, a lot of things moving in and out of your screen. If you have a really wide focus point like zone, you may be having something in focus that you don't want, and no one likes that. In addition to that, you are gonna wanna use grid lines just so that you can get a little more comfortable framing your shots and save you some time when it comes to post. And now we have the big trinity of settings, right? You have your ISO, your shutter, and your f-stop. When it comes to your f-stop, you're gonna wanna have it as low as possible. If you have a 2.8 lens, great. Keep it at 2.8. When it comes to your shutter, I would recommend having things at 1,000. 1,000 shutter, for the most part, everything will be very nicely in focus. You won't get any blur or anything like that. It may still happen sometimes with the ball, but 1,000 is pretty much that safe spot. If you're shooting in the daytime for football, boost it to 1,600. When it comes to your ISO, this is all gonna be based off the camera that you have. If you have a camera that's really good at low light and handling low light, you can boost that ISO to a higher amount. In general, for your ISO, you just wanna make sure that your shot is properly exposed. You just wanna make sure you get what you need to get. You can adjust certain things, right? As you start to get a feel for things, you can lower your shutter by 2 stops to boost your ISO up a little bit. Play around with it and figure things out on your own, but for the most part, those are gonna be the settings you stick to. And then last but not least, for settings, it's not too important of a setting. Some people overlook it, but it's still something to consider: your picture profile. Shoot in a very flat picture profile when you're shooting for photos so that you can have a lot of flexibility with your editing in Lightroom or whatever you choose to edit with. Now we're gonna go ahead and talk about the actual game itself. We're gonna start off with pregame. You wanna make sure you arrive an hour before every game. You do this so that you can capture locker room shots and warm-up shots, right? Players start to get there probably about an hour before, but during warm-ups, you can be a lot more creative because you have a lot more flexibility with the shots you can get because you can be on the field with the athletes. Also, the athletes are showing off a little bit. They're warming up. We got crazy catches and all this other stuff. They also have some pre-game rituals, the coin toss, all of these things that happen because you arrived an hour before the game starts. Now, locker room shots are gonna be my absolute favorites, but we're gonna talk about that a little later. Now, when it comes to the actual game itself, you're gonna wanna make sure you are on the side of the field that your team's end zone is. So that way, the action is always coming towards you, but you don't wanna just stay still. You wanna move with the ball, but there are 3 key parts that you want to be at. Here, anywhere behind here, and right here. Now that y'all have all of the key things that y'all would need in terms of the equipment, the settings, the positioning, I'm gonna leave y'all with a quick shot list. Now, pay attention. I'm gonna do these rapid fire. I'm starting with everything from pre-game to the actual game itself to even celebratory shots after. So I hope y'all ready. Pause where you need to. So we're gonna start with pregame and we're gonna start with locker room. You wanna make sure you get any shots of anybody listening to music, any close-ups of anybody's faces, any praying, any type of team huddles, coaches speaking to the players. You also wanna make sure you get close-ups on uniforms, any type of cleats, the back pleats. Some people have anything where they have family members on their back plates, or any type of crosses or anything important that symbolizes something for that athlete. Now we're gonna go ahead in terms of leaving out of the locker room. You want those shots as well. leaving the locker room, the team entering the field, you want to make sure you capture any pre-game rituals that you can. In terms of warm-up shots, all of the fancy creative catches, you can get creative with your angles, you can get your wide angle shots during the time where they're doing their stretches and their lines. You want to make sure you capture all of that too. The coin toss is important. Any type of pre-game ritual leading up to when they are on the field is also important. The game itself, you want to make sure you capture everything. Follow the action. I want runs, I want catches, I want fumbles, I want throws, I want wide receivers breaking off of the line. Anything that happens in the game, you capture it, including sideline celebrations, the coaches calling plays from the sidelines. You want to capture that as well. And finally, celebratory shots after the games. You never know how important the game was to either coaches or players. It doesn't always have to be just state games. A regular season game could have been very important to a team. You want to make sure you capture every celebratory shot you can after every win. All the emotion matters. Now, I've given y'all everything y'all need to be able to take great photos for this upcoming season, but I did not say I was gonna teach y'all how to edit. We don't got time for that. We got 5 minutes. I think I'm coming up real close. But listen, I got a solution for y'all, very easy. Top link in the description down below, DTV Preset Pack V1 and V2. It'll give y'all everything y'all need. That's it for me. Y'all stay creative and good luck this season. Peace.